Welcome to BorderDrip USA, your trusted source for U.S. immigration news, policy updates, and visa insights. Trump's deportation orders blocked. Federal judges strike back. Stop scrolling. A federal judge just blocked Trump's plan to deport over 500,000 immigrants, and this legal decision could change the course of immigration policy in 2025. If you're on a visa, waiting on status updates, or worried about policy shifts, this is the update you've been waiting for. Let's break it all down. A major blow to Trump's immigration crackdown. Trump revived an old law to fast-track deportations. Over 500,000 immigrants were at risk. The court said, not without hearings. In a dramatic turn of events, a series of federal court rulings have dealt a significant blow to the Trump administration's hardline deportation efforts. This marks the first big legal win for immigrants since Trump returned to office. The administration had moved quickly to invoke a centuries-old law, the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, aiming to bypass due process and speed up deportations, especially targeting Venezuelan nationals. Their justification? National security threats tied to an alleged gang, but the courts weren't convinced. What is the Alien Enemies Act? A law dates back to 1798. Allows removal of nationals from enemy countries. Trump used it against Venezuelans with alleged gang links. You might never have heard of it because it hasn't been used like this in decades. Originally designed during wartime, the Alien Enemies Act gives the president authority to deport nationals from hostile countries. Trump's team attempted to apply this to Venezuelans with supposed ties to a gang called Tren de Aragua, which they labeled a foreign terrorist group. By doing this, they sought to skip legal hearings entirely, enabling fast-track deportation without a chance to present a defense. Critics raised the alarm. Illegal groups called it unconstitutional. Innocent people were getting swept up, and no proper evidence or court hearings. Legal experts, civil rights groups, and immigrant advocates immediately pushed back. They warned this move could result in wrongfully detaining innocent people, many of whom had fled violence and persecution in Venezuela. Some had no criminal records at all, just broad accusations with little evidence. Worse, by using such an outdated and vague statute, the administration was trying to sidestep the constitutional right to due process. The courts respond. Legal hearings are not optional. Judge Sweeney blocked deportations in Colorado. Said hearings must come first. Constitutional rights can't be bypassed. On April 15, 2025, the first major court decision came down in Colorado. U.S. District Judge Charlotte N. Sweeney issued a temporary injunction, halting the deportation of Venezuelan detainees under this act. Her ruling was clear. No deportation can take place unless individuals are given a proper hearing. She emphasized that even under the Alien Enemies Act, each person must be allowed to present their case, show evidence, and be judged fairly. Other judges join in across the U.S. Texas, New York, and Boston issued similar rulings. All demanded legal process for each migrant. Unified message: due process is non-negotiable. In a wave of coordinated rulings, more federal judges stepped in. In Texas, Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr. issued a restraining order preventing removals. In New York, Judge Alvin Hellerstein ruled in favor of individual hearings. In Boston, Judge Brian Murphy blocked third-country deportations, reinforcing legal rights for each affected migrant. Together, these decisions sent one message. Even when national security is claimed, due process still stands. What this means for immigrants right now: no deportation without a fair hearing. Immigrants can now present evidence. A legal representation is now mandatory. This ruling immediately impacts Venezuelan immigrants, but it could ripple out much further. It means that the government can't simply accuse someone of gang ties and deport them overnight. They now must provide legal counsel, allow the person to present evidence, justify the deportation in front of a judge, and most importantly, follow the Constitution. Why Venezuela matters. Country facing political and economic collapse. Return could mean jail, violence, or death. Human rights groups urged caution. Venezuela is currently facing extreme political instability, economic collapse, and gang violence. Human rights organizations have repeatedly warned that deporting migrants back there could expose them to torture, imprisonment, or even death. Many of the migrants affected by this policy were escaping those exact dangers. Sending them back, without a hearing, would be a humanitarian disaster. Trump's defense: it's about security. Admin says Trenda Aragua is a terror threat. Claims court delays help criminals. Demands fast deportation authority. The Trump administration, however, remains firm in its stance. They argue that Trenda Aragua is a legitimate threat and that fast action is needed to prevent the spread of violent crime. According to them, legal hearings slow things down and give criminals time to exploit the system. Supporters of the policy say the courts are interfering with necessary enforcement, but the rulings suggest otherwise. Supreme Court: Constitution still applies. SCOTUS ruled: immigrants still deserve hearings. Alien Enemies Act doesn't cancel rights. Civil liberties upheld. Earlier this year, even the U.S. Supreme Court weighed in. They ruled that anyone detained under the Alien Enemies Act must be granted access to a federal court hearing, confirming that the Constitution doesn't vanish during emergency policies or enforcement crackdowns. This landmark decision reinforced the idea that every person, regardless of immigration status, has the right to a fair process. Bigger picture: legal rights versus executive power. Should presidents have unchecked deportation power? Can national security override rights? Courts say rights come first. This legal battle isn't just about one group of immigrants or one policy. It's about how far a president can go in the name of national security and whether the courts will continue to be a check on executive power. Immigration laws are meant to protect borders, but they're also meant to protect people. And the courts are making it clear: you can't have one without the other. Final thoughts: deportations now require full legal review. Immigrants have hope and legal protection. Courts reaffirmed American values. For now, the deportation halt stands. And it offers a beacon of hope, not just for Venezuelan migrants, but for many others who feared sudden removal without a chance to be heard. In the United States, justice takes time, and it demands process. These rulings remind us that no policy, no president, and no threat should override the Constitution. That's all for today from BorderDrip USA. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss an important immigration update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.